Hello everyone, Storm 101 here. Today we'll be talking about for the possibility for a little bit of maybe a little winter storm that may happen across parts of east central Illinois, northern Indiana, northwestern Ohio, even getting into southeastern Michigan. We're also going to be talking about that severe weather chances will return across parts of the several plains and eventually getting to Dixie Alley, which is off the screen here. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's first take a look into this winter storm potential, and this is looking to be quite impressive here. Of actually the cold front itself is going to be pretty impressive. So let's go to get started with the reflectivity here. So really during the day tomorrow won't be bad across the lower Ohio Valley region, but check out what's going on out west here. Really off the screen there, north central Kansas may actually see some pretty decent snowfall totals out there as well, even for southern Nebraska, eventually getting into northern Missouri and southern Iowa. Probably has some snowfall accumulations there. But then as we kind of get into Tuesday night, we're going to start to watch this area in here. Some of the snow here may stick around a little bit longer here. But check out the snow band here. It stretches from eastern Michigan all the way back down to northeastern Oklahoma. That's quite an extent of a snow band here. And your co-friend is like right here. We got 1012 millibar low over Cincinnati at that point, and that low will start to deepen as it moves to the northeast. As you can see there, how it starts to deepen. But check out this snow band here. Talking about for the chance for some pretty heavy snow all the way back down into the Lower Ohio Valley region here, where some of your snowfall rates could be decently high as well. Depending on your snowfall rates, may actually overcome those warm ground temperatures, so you may be able to see maybe the possibility for some accumulations. But the area we're kind of focused on for the possibility for winter storm potential will probably be somewhere right up in the zone in here, where some also do indicate, at least in the 10 to 1 ratio, some up to 8 inches, which obviously 8 inches is not going to happen, but there'll be a chance some places may be able to get it, may exceed 4, maybe getting close to 5 inches of snow at some places. It's a possibility. So, and as we kind of move on here, I mean, check out the snow band here. I mean, some of these places could see pretty large snowflakes here. And check out how far south this goes here. I mean, getting close to the Tennessee-Mississippi border. That's pretty far south. And this is a little bit unusual for this time of year where we have a strong cold front here. Typically, when we get strong cold fronts like this, usually out ahead of this cold front in the warm sector, you will have had widespread severe weather. But in this case, we're not really seeing that. Although severe weather may be a possibility for parts of the mid-Atlantic out there, which we'll take a look at the SPC outlook in a moment. Eventually, that snow moves out, and then during the day on Wednesday, some places will be experiencing with a mix of rain and snow showers out across parts of the Midwest and the Ohio Valley as well. And like I was talking about that temperature change or gradient, I mean, check out this. So this is kind of in the Tuesday evening. So you got West Central Kentucky 70 degrees, but if you go around Paducah, it's 47. But it gets worse overnight. You go from earlier in the day about near 70 degrees. You go down into the low to mid 30s. Yeah, that's close to a 40-degree drop here. And this ball's even indicating a 40-degree drop in parts of Arkansas here. I mean, 75 here. And eventually the next morning here, I mean, 39 degrees. And check out the northwestern part of the state, below freezing. So a lot of these places may actually have a freeze go on. Some other places probably have some frost mixed in as well. Wednesday morning, which we do have widespread freeze watches in effect, really from northern Texas all the way up into parts of the Midwest as well, up into Michigan. At least that's the last time I saw that freeze watch. Which eventually, those will go into warnings probably sometime tomorrow if they haven't done it already as well. why not check out the Snowfall Totals? So you can see here, do not take these for granted here, but does show some high snowfall totals across northern Indiana, northwestern Ohio, and southeastern Michigan. That's kind of the area of focus as right now, which does have some areas up to 6 inches of snow, but probably take an inch or two of snow off of there. And that might what you get here out of this event here. Indicate by the models, maybe as high as 3 inches in some places as well. If I show you every model here in the precipitation form, they are all pretty much the same here. This is the high risk NAM. You can see a little bit of a large swath of 6+ inches of snow. It actually extends near St. Louis, Missouri here, which keep in mind, you guys are not going to see 6 inches of snow. If there's going to be any accumulations, it may get a coating to maybe an inch of snow some places, if there's going to be any accumulation here. Again, the main area of focus will probably be somewhere in the zone in here, where we have balls. This ball here actually has some places picking up close to 9 inches of snow some places. Take a couple inches, and that actually may result in 5-6 inches of snow from this model as well. Then checking out the NAM here, a little bit more aggressive. It actually has some of the highest snowfall totals across northern Indiana here. Remember the last time I made a video here, the same model had highest snowfall totals way up here. Now it's down here, matching up pretty well with most of the other models here. So at least we have a better agreement here. But it's got some places up to 10 inches. Likely not going to happen. 10 inches though is not going to happen. Now this event here, probably I'll guess the maximum snowfall total maybe 4, or maybe as high as 5 inches of snow. But we'll see what happens here. Again here, areas of blue here, these are the areas that has that chance for a winter storm, which includes places like Champaign, Illinois, Toledo, Ohio, Ann Arbor, and Detroit, Michigan, and Fort Wayne, Indiana as well. Barely clipping the northern metro of Indianapolis. That's going to be a close call for Indianapolis there. But again, we'll see what happens here. Models can change in the next 24 hours before this event starts to begin here. So it's something to watch for now here. But again, we could probably see a few inches of snow in some of these places as well. Probably the better probability, probably somewhere in northwestern Ohio or southeastern Michigan. Could be the hot spot for some of those snowfall totals. So that's kind of away from the winter side of things. Let's actually move on to the severe weather side of things. So this is for the SPC outlook for the rest of tonight. We got a marginal risk for South Central Florida. If this is going to load for me. I don't think it will. Let me refresh this real quick. Oh, the internet went out on me. That's why. It did show a 2% for the western part of the marginal risk, which includes like Tampa and Fort Myers as well. And the wind risk includes for everybody, and pretty much the same way for the hail risk. If we look at day 2, basically the same thing, over some of the same areas, with some of the pretty much the same threats as well. So, and then move on to day 3, like I was talking about the possibility for severe weather across the Mid-Atlantic. There you go. Get a margin risk that includes places like Virginia Beach, Richmond, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, and New York City as well. Primary threats is probably going to be the damaging wind threat, but there could be an isolated tornado threat mixed in there. But the primary threat is just going to be the damaging wind threat. That's pretty much the only threat that's going to be out there. We'll see if that gets upgraded to slight risk, because typically these areas in here that get severe weather, any chance for severe weather, it usually is right or overperforms. But we'll see what happens there. It's a couple days away, things could change. So let's move on to the European model here. So let's kind of get a little further out here. Oh, wait a minute. Almost forgot to show you guys something. If we actually move on to day 5, we actually got a 15% slight risk across south central Texas up into central Oklahoma. I think the primary threat is really just going to be the wind and hail, but there could be an isolated tornado somewhere in this risk zone here. Now let's actually move on to the European model. So that's actually Friday, and that severe weather threat may continue to Saturday, which will be in Dixie Alley. So this is checking out the European model, and you can see here we got a 998 millibar low in northeast central Texas. Got some thunderstorm activity across eastern Texas and a good chunk of Oklahoma. Some of those could be strong to severe. Eventually, that's going to move eastward. You got 1,003 millibar low over Memphis. That kind of brings it the threat for some severe weather across parts of Dixie Alley here. It's not a significant setup here. Keep in mind that this is probably more of a slight risk type of setup here. If this model were to be correct, and it also may move into the Carolinas, maybe into Sunday. Actually, late in the day on Saturday, may actually move it to the Carolinas at that point. Now let's check out the GFS model here. There goes your little winter storm there for the Ohio Valley. And then as you can see here, as you kind of get into Friday, you got some pretty good thunderstorms out across parts of Louisiana, southern Arkansas, northeastern Texas. There's your low in northeast central Texas, which is not popped up, but your low is right here. 1002 millibar low. Got some thunderstorms out here. And this low here will continue to move to the east here pretty quickly here. And it's also a little bit further south than the European model. You can see here at this point here, it's got your low in Severn, Alabama, but it still poses a severe weather threat kind of along the Gulf Coast there. May pose a threat for some severe weather. So, but we'll probably have a better idea when we get closer to the event. It's still a little ways away, so things could change from now till then. And then that severe weather threat may move it to the Carolinas, maybe into Saturday night. We'll see about that. But it's definitely something to watch here for now for that severe weather potential. I believe there's some decent CAPE numbers out there. We'll check out the surface-based CAPE here. See how much CAPE there will be out there. We'll also pull up a different website here for the European model. We'll actually take a look to the lightning flash density there for the European model. That's going to take a moment to load. So let's check out the European model here. We'll go to the lightning flash intensity here. We'll move on to Thursday here. And see here. Here's Thursday here. Here comes your low coming out of northeastern New Mexico here, but as you kind of get into Friday here, right around 5 o'clock here, you're talking about some thunderstorm activity out across a good chunk of eastern Texas to Louisiana and parts of Oklahoma as well. And here's how much CAPE there could be out there. And you can see here, looks like we'll have plenty of CAPE out there. Looks like a lot of the areas are actually below 1,000 joules per kilogram, but kind of along that dry line, you do have CAPE numbers excessive of 2,000 joules per kilogram. If we move on to 8 o'clock here, here's your dry line right here. And here's your CAPE numbers along the front there. There might be a cap in place, but we'll see about that. Looks like the GFS is finished, so we'll take a look at that as well. You can see here, it actually shows a pretty skinny corridor here of the excessive 2,000 joules per kilogram of CAPE. So there's going to be some uncertainties here, kind of really depending on how much thunderstorm activity there could be out there, especially out ahead of the front. And then as you kind of move on to Saturday here, here's a little sliver here of 1,000 plus joules per kilogram of CAPE. We are south and east of that low. We'll get a quick sounding out there real quick. See what it's got here. Probably not going to be an oppressive sounding. I mean, this is favorable for all hazards here. Probably got a little bit of a hail threat involved. You got a pretty decent hodograph there, so that may support an isolated tornado, although your storm relative felicity numbers are a little bit lower in there. But other than that, this is a pretty decent sounding here, which will be favorable for some severe weather across the Florida Panhandle on Saturday. If we kind of back this up a little bit, we'll go back to Friday. And you can see here, yeah, we got a cap there along the dry line there. But still okay of a sounding here. We are not a good hodograph like England's oriented Felicity, but this will still be a favorable environment here for damaging winds. That downdraft cape there, it's decently high there, excessive of 1,000 joules per kilogram. So this will be favorable for damaging winds and also for some large hail as well. You can see here where your temperature and dew point line do spread apart here. This will indicate some damaging winds here as well. So let's take a look into the Euro real quick. We'll go back to the lightning flash intensity here. Yeah, you talk about the lightning flash intensity. Some of these thunderstorms can produce a lot of lightning. You can see it even goes through the overnight hours. Eventually moves to Dixie Alley during the day on Saturday here. And again, some of these storms can produce a decent amount of lightning as well. If we check out how much CAPE is there, there's a pretty good amount of CAPE out there. So this will be supportive for some severe weather across Dixie Alley, eventually getting into parts of the Carolinas as well when you get to Saturday night. So definitely something we'll be keeping an eye on here for now on that event. And after this here, looks like it'll be a little bit quieter afterwards. But I'm also really hinting on something coming kind of towards the 10-day period. So I'll show you guys that. So if we go back to precipitation type here with the GFS, you can see here, there goes that system there. This actually may be something to watch here. If we could get these two pieces of energy together here, you got a piece of energy up here, you got your little piece of energy down here. If we actually get these two get closer to each other, combine, there could be a significant amount of severe weather. But in this case, it doesn't look like it's going to happen here. But if this low does trend north here, we may have to watch it because it's only going to get closer to this piece of energy up here. That's something we do need to note there as well. So as we kind of continue on there afterwards, looks like it's mostly going to be quiet. It actually shows a strong low off the coast of Maine. It actually shows all rain out there as well. Probably some snow mixed in too. And then you kind of get some of these cap days here where at peak of daytime heating, you got a cap, not much in the way of thunderstorms really do develop. Although it is a pretty high cape environment as well with some wind shear. So we need to watch for that as well. Talk about a pretty strong low, 988 millibar low. So that's decently strong there. And then along that front here, you got some thunderstorms out here, which may be strong to severe. And then as we kind of get into Wednesday here, check out this. You got a negative tilt trough coming in here along this frontier. You got a line of possibly severe thunderstorms, really from Indiana, Ohio, all the way back down to Mississippi, which models are showing an indication that there may be uptick for severe weather sometime around this time period. So it's something to watch here for now. It is 10 days out. However, the Canadian model is also showing this as well, pretty similar to the GFS. If we look into the European model for this one here, so moving on to Tuesday here, here's your low way up here. And it looks like there could be another low down here as well. If that's going to be the case there, definitely need to watch for that low there because if it kind of takes on a track like this here, it's going to bring in more moisture up in here and probably make the air a little bit more unstable. And there could be a little bit more of a serious situation with that as well. And then you kind of get to peak daytime heating on Wednesday. Here's your low across eastern Iowa, northern Illinois here, with some thunderstorm activity along that front as well. So we definitely need to watch for this low here very closely here. Again, it's 10 days out, so this is likely going to change. But I'm mentioning this because we have a pretty decent agreement here um, with the malls here. And here's the supercell composite here. And you can see here, favorable for supercells as well. We'll also check out the GFS ensembles here, see what it's got here. We'll check out the mean supercell composite probabilities. And you can see here, here's Friday. Got pretty decent agreement here for the chance for a couple supercells across central Texas into southwestern Oklahoma. This threat moves it to the Gulf Coast region here. Got some pretty good numbers out there, or at least I should say decent numbers. Doesn't look like it goes for the entire event yet, but here's Monday. It's actually got a pretty decent agreement across parts of the Central Plains, and we'll see what it shows from there. It's from there since it's still updating. But again, this is definitely something we gotta watch here closely over the next several days here. But anyways, guys, this is all for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you already like my channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notifications so you never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, you put a comment section down below. I'll answer you guys' questions, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.